The year was 20X, and the world teetered on the brink of a discovery that could reshape the future or end it. Dr. Emily Fischer, head of research team M03 Gloria, stood at the forefront of a classified facility buried deep within an uncharted mountain range. She had devoted years to understanding anomalies that defied the laws of nature, but none were as perplexing or dangerous as SCP-003. SCP-003 wasn't just a scientific anomaly. It was an enigma that merged organic and technological elements in ways beyond comprehension. Its core consisted of two distinct components: SCP-003-1, a strange, seemingly organic entity resembling an ancient circuit board made of chitin, hair, and nails. It wasn't just a biological marvel. It was alive, sentient, and under certain conditions, capable of devastating growth. The second piece of this mystery was SCP-003-2, an ancient stone tablet etched with glowing runes. The purpose of SCP-003-2 was still debated among the highest echelons of the Foundation, but one thing was clear: it held SCP-003-1 in check. Together, these artifacts formed a delicate balance. However, when SCP-003-1's temperature dropped below 35 degrees, the entity would begin to grow, fueling its expansion by consuming any matter it touched. This included inorganic material and organic matter alike, everything except SCP-003-2. Dr. Fischer stared intently at the security monitors in the control room. The cameras captured SCP-003-1, currently dormant and confined to its tablet-like cradle. Its runes flickered lazily, projecting pale light. Her assistant, Agent Jackson, ran diagnostics on the containment systems. Everything seemed stable for now. "Temperature's holding at 100, Jackson said, his voice calm, but Fischer sensed his underlying tension. Everyone who worked near SCP-003 felt it, a gnawing sense that it wasn't just an object to be studied. It was waiting. "Any changes in rune activity?" Fischer asked, barely shifting her gaze from the screens. "None," Jackson replied, pausing. "But the power levels are lower than they should be. Ever since the last incident, we've been burning through external generators to keep the containment temperature high enough." That incident had nearly wiped out the facility. Fischer's team had learned the hard way that SCP-003-1 could accelerate its growth dramatically if given the right stimulus, or the wrong one. Even worse, it had started communicating. The thought still made Fischer uneasy. "Keep an eye on the backups," she said quietly. "We can't afford another breach." As she spoke, a deep rumble echoed through the facility. Alarms blared and the lights flickered. Jackson's eyes widened as he checked the monitors. "Containment breach, power's dropping fast, backup generators aren't kicking in." The temperature in SCP-003's containment room plummeted. Fischer sprang into action. "Get me a full lockdown of the sector. We need heat, now." But it was too late. SCP-003-1 had already begun its growth cycle. The monitors displayed a horrifying transformation as SCP-003-1 morphed into something monstrous, a 15-meter-wide creature resembling a brittle star, its limbs stretching out in all directions. The stone tablet remained untouched, but everything else, walls, floors, machinery, began converting into a strange organic substance. Fischer felt a chill run down her spine. They were witnessing the first stage of its growth, where it converted inorganic material to fuel its expansion. But the second stage was even more terrifying. When SCP-003-1 encountered living organisms, it would start to template itself off them, attempting to communicate, to understand, and perhaps worse, to assimilate. Suddenly, Fischer's radio crackled to life. "This is Delta Team. We've got visual on the entity. It's moving toward the observation deck." Fischer's heart raced. If SCP-003-1 reached the observation deck, it would come into contact with her team. "Hold your position," she ordered through the radio. "We can't engage until we restore power." Agent Jackson frantically worked the control console. "We're locked out of the system. Manual overrides offline." Fischer knew there was only one way to stop SCP-003-1 from fully activating. They needed to restore the temperature to 100 degrees Celsius. Without heat, it would continue its expansion, and once it reached its second growth phase, there would be no stopping it. She made a split-second decision. "I'm going in." "What?" Jackson grabbed her arm. "You'll be torn apart." "There's no other way. If I can make skin contact, I might be able to stabilize it. It's a risk, but the only one we have." Without waiting for his protest, Fischer grabbed an insulated suit and ran toward the containment chamber. The door opened with a hiss, and the heat from SCP-003-1's growing form filled the room, radiating an unnatural energy. The entity's tentacle-like limbs twisted and writhed, scanning its surroundings with eerie precision. As Fischer approached, she could feel its attention shift toward her. The creature paused, as if assessing whether she was a threat. She removed her glove and pressed her hand to its cold, pulsing surface. Immediately, SCP-031 reacted, its growth slowing. She could feel it, a faint, alien intelligence probing her mind, trying to understand. For a moment, Fischer feared it would take her, just as it had almost done to her colleagues during the last incident. But then, a burst of radiation erupted from SCP-003-2. The stone tablet flared to life, and the temperature in the room skyrocketed. SCP-031 shrank back, its form retracting, dissolving into dust. The containment systems whirred back online, and the facility stabilized. Fischer staggered back, gasping for breath. She had stopped it, for now. As she turned to leave the chamber, a voice crackled over the intercom. It wasn't Jackson. It was deeper, more authoritative. Dr. Fischer, report to the command center immediately. 0510 has been removed from his position. New orders are coming in. Fischer's mind reeled. 0510 had been the overseer of the SCP-003 project. If he was removed, it meant something had gone wrong at the highest levels of the Foundation. She knew, deep down, that this was far from over. SCP-003 had not just been contained, it had learned, adapted, and now it was waiting again.